It is nearly impossible to forget the horrific attack earlier this year at SeaWorld. The attack that left a trainer dead, drowned by a killer whale. Well, now a New Hampshire family is bringing a suit because their 10-year-old son, they say, who saw everything that happened that day, has been traumatized. Before we speak with them exclusively, CBS News correspondent Ben Tracy takes a look at the details.
Despite being a killer whale, this was still shocking. The 12,300-pound orca Tilikum attacked and drowned trainer Dawn Brancheau at SeaWorld's Shamu Stadium last February.
We actually have a trainer in the water with one of our whales, the whale that they're not supposed to be in the water with.
The Connell family took this home video moments before the attack. That's 10-year-old Bobby looking on. In a lawsuit filed this week, the family says Bobby saw the look of horror and desperation on Dawn's face as she was swimming for her life, and Tilikum violently yanked her down to the depth of the pool. The family claims the boy now has nightmares, is often angry, and doesn't eat.
It doesn't matter that the boy was traumatized. It doesn't matter that he experienced a severe emotional distress. Really what the courts look to is whether or not there was a close family relationship between the person who observed the incident and the victim who actually was injured.
More than 50 witness statements were collected after the attack, but so far this is the only lawsuit. SeaWorld declined to comment on the specific case, but in a statement they said, "We are in the process of a thorough review of our killer whale program right now, and we'll make any changes that we feel will improve the safety of our staff and guests." On Monday, OSHA cited SeaWorld for 3 violations, including willful disregard for safety because Tilikum had known aggressive tendencies. The whale was involved in 2 other deaths in the past 20 years. SeaWorld is appealing the government's findings and plans to fight the Connell family's lawsuit. Ben Tracy, CBS News, New York.
And joining us exclusively this morning from Manchester, New Hampshire, are Suzanne Connell and her son Bobby, and in Orlando, Florida this morning, their attorney John Overchuck. Good to have all of you with us. Suzanne, you were, as I stand it, and we saw your video there, 2 to 3 feet away as all of this is happening. You say the attack has had a lasting effect on your family, specifically on your son Bobby. Talk to us about what's happened in the time since you witnessed this attack.
Since it happened, at first it was the first week or so was very much shock. He had a hard time eating. He spent a lot of time alone, crying a lot. Didn't want to talk about things, didn't want to talk about that. Angry a lot, nightmares. It was very difficult for the whole family, but he took it really hard.
And then now, a few months on, and again, we're seeing that video that you shot. How are things a few months on? And I just want to point out for folks, if you're wondering why we're not talking to Bobby, he's not answering questions this morning because of this lawsuit. So that's why Suzanne is doing the talking for the family. Suzanne, go ahead. How are things today?
Today, well, it's been 6 months ago it happened on Tuesday, and, things don't seem to be getting any better. He's doing a little bit better, but then we had nightmares again last week. It just seems to not be going away at all.
When you look at that video and you replay this and you see it replayed on TV, did you realize at the time what you were seeing?
Well, as soon as he pulled her in, I knew something was wrong, and I screamed to the trainer, yeah, and then basically we kind of stood there in shock. It wasn't real, it wasn't happening.
Just trying to process everything. John, this week you filed a negligence lawsuit against SeaWorld. What exactly are you hoping for as an outcome here?
Well, the first thing that I want and the Connells want is for SeaWorld to accept responsibility. They don't seem to understand that there are consequences for their actions. It's been 6 months now, and SeaWorld has taken no responsibility for anything that happened that day. In fact, everyone who has criticized SeaWorld has come under their attack. So we can start with just accept responsibility for this event and make sure it doesn't happen again.
We should point out, as Ben mentioned in his piece, we did contact SeaWorld. They told us they are not commenting on this specific case right now, that they're reviewing the killer whale program. But also, when we asked them about this, they brought up another claim to us, saying that the Connell family at one point had a different attorney who contacted SeaWorld on their behalf, asking for $5,000, or in fact threatening, if not, to go to Oprah with their story. What do you know about those claims?
Well, I know that the Connells absolutely deny that that's true. And I also know that there's this phantom lawyer out there who is supposed to have said these mysterious things, which somehow can be construed to make the Connells look bad. Now, one of the things we're going to do in this case is we're going to get to the truth. And I'm going to find out from SeaWorld who this person is, if he in fact exists. And if he exists, did he do what they're accusing the Connells of doing?
And so just to be clear, Mr. Overcheck, in this suit, you simply want to hear from SeaWorld some admittance. You are not necessarily looking for a financial payout here.
Well, the only way that a corporation can say, I'm sorry, is with the dollars that they earn every day.
Well, we will continue to follow this. We appreciate you being with us this morning. Suzanne, Bobby, John Overcheck.